How well do you truly know your family? That was the thought plaguing Justin's mind as he sped down the winding roads of his small hometown, heart pounding in his chest like a drum on the verge of bursting. He couldn't erase the scene he had stumbled upon just hours ago. His hands shook on the steering wheel, knuckles white as bone, and the moonlight casting eerie shadows through the dense trees around him seemed to mock the turmoil within him. The road stretched on forever, but no distance could free him from the horror etched in his memory. Justin had always been close with his parents. They were the ideal couple, warm, loving, respected members of the community. His father, Tom, was a well-known doctor, and his mother, Susan, ran a local bakery that was the heart of their small town. He admired them, looked up to them, even aspired to have a relationship as solid and nurturing as theirs someday. They were the type of family others envied, until tonight. It all started with a trip to his childhood home. Justin had stopped by unexpectedly, intending to surprise his parents, after finishing his first week at his new job in the next town over. The lights were on, the front door slightly ajar, as if they had been waiting for him. His mother's favorite music, soft jazz, was playing in the background. All seemed perfectly normal, until the basement door creaked. That sound. It was odd, unfamiliar. Justin never remembered the basement being used. It was mostly storage, a place where old furniture and dusty Christmas decorations were forgotten. Curiosity, innocent at first, had pulled him toward that door. As he descended the stairs, the familiar warmth of his home chilled with each step. The musty air grew thicker, and an unfamiliar metallic tang invaded his senses. And then he saw it. The basement was dimly lit, but what little light there was glinted off something wet and red. His eyes adjusted, and that's when Justin's world shattered. There, in the center of the room, stood his parents, covered in blood, hovering over a mutilated body. The face was unrecognizable, disfigured beyond recognition. His mother held a butcher's knife, her apron splattered in crimson streaks, while his father stood with a bone saw, wiping his brow as though he'd just completed a strenuous chore. The stench of death clawed at Justin's throat, threatening to choke him. His parents turned, their faces eerily calm, despite the scene of absolute carnage surrounding them. "Justin," his mother had said in a sickeningly sweet tone, "you weren't supposed to see this." Justin's tires screeched as he slammed on the brakes, pulling off into a dirt road leading to an abandoned field. He couldn't drive anymore, couldn't think. He felt like vomiting. What had he stumbled into? His parents, his loving parents, were murderers. He thought about calling the police, but something deep inside stopped him. His parents were everything to him. How could he betray them? Yet the gruesome image of that mangled body refused to leave his mind. Who was that? Why had they done it? A sudden knock on his car window jolted him back to reality. He jumped, heart racing, only to see his father standing there in the moonlight, his face a mask of unreadable calm. "Justin, we need to talk," Tom said, his voice eerily steady. With trembling hands, Justin rolled down the window. His father's hand was resting casually in his jacket pocket, and Justin could only imagine what was hidden inside. "Get out of the car, son. We need to explain things to you," Tom said softly. For a moment, Justin thought about flooring the gas pedal and speeding away. But where would he go? Could he ever truly escape them? Hesitantly, he opened the door and stepped out. As soon as he did, his mother appeared from the shadows, her eyes glittering with a strange mixture of love and something far darker. Her clothes were clean now, no sign of the blood she had bathed in hours before. I know this is hard, Justin, his mother whispered, but sometimes family secrets are meant to stay buried. We've done this for years. For you. For us. For me? Justin's voice cracked, disbelief and horror battling for control. You have to understand, his father cut in. Some people in this world, they're disposable. No one misses them. No one cares when they're gone. We've been cleaning up the streets in our own way. It's ugly work, but someone has to do it. Cleaning up the streets? Justin spat. You killed a man. You butchered him like an animal. That man was a predator, Justin. A monster in his own right. We've been protecting you, protecting the town. You think people disappear for no reason? It's because of us. We keep the town safe. And now, you're part of that secret. Justin backed away, shaking his head in disbelief. No, this is insane. I'm not a part of this. I won't be. But his father's hand came out of his pocket, gripping a small, glinting knife. The threat hung in the air between them, unspoken but clear. You have no choice, son, his father whispered. If you tell anyone, if you try to run, we'll have to protect our secret. Even if that means... Susan stepped forward, her voice soothing yet chilling. Even if that means letting you go. Justin's mind raced. He was their son, their only child. Surely they wouldn't. But the dead eyes of the man in the basement flashed before him, a reminder of just how far they would go. And then, without warning, his father lunged. The knife came down, and Justin barely dodged, feeling the blade graze his arm. Blood soaked his sleeve instantly. His father was trying to kill him. His own father. Susan screamed, not in horror, but in fury. Don't make this harder, Justin. Please. We don't want to do this. But they did. They would. He could see it in their eyes now. His parents had become something unrecognizable, twisted beyond any hope of redemption. Justin turned and ran, sprinting into the field, the tall grass whipping against his face as he pushed himself forward. Behind him, he heard his mother shriek to his father, "Don't let him escape. If he gets away, we're done." His father's heavy footsteps followed, closer with each passing second. The pain in Justin's arm throbbed, but adrenaline surged through him, forcing him to run faster. His mind raced with one singular thought: survival. Up ahead, a small shed loomed in the distance, forgotten and overgrown. It was his only hope. Without a second thought, Justin dashed inside, slamming the door shut behind him. His breath came in ragged gasps, the silence deafening. For a brief moment, it felt like he had escaped. Then, a chilling voice echoed from the other side of the door. His father. "Justin, open the door, son. Let's talk. We don't want to hurt you." But the knife in his father's hand said otherwise. With trembling hands, Justin searched the shed for anything he could use to defend himself. His fingers brushed against a rusty crowbar, and he gripped it tightly. If they wanted to kill him, he would go down fighting. Seconds later, the door burst open, and his father stood there, knife raised, eyes cold and determined. Behind him, his mother watched, her expression twisted in a grotesque mask of sorrow and duty. "You left us no choice," Tom growled, stepping forward. But Justin was ready. With every ounce of strength he had left, he swung the crowbar, connecting with his father's head. There was a sickening crack, and his father crumpled to the ground, the knife clattering from his hand. His mother screamed, rushing toward her fallen husband, but Justin didn't stay to watch. He ran, his legs fueled by terror and adrenaline. The night swallowed him whole as he disappeared into the woods. Days later, Justin found himself in a motel, miles away from the town that had once been his home. His arm was bandaged, but the wound in his heart would never heal. He had killed his father to survive. His mother. He didn't know if she was still out there, searching for him, or if she had died alongside the man who had once raised him. All he knew was that the perfect life he had once known was gone, destroyed by a horrifying secret. And now, he was the only one left who knew the truth. But secrets, as he had learned, were meant to stay buried, even if it meant burying them deep within himself.